What's up, guys? How we doing? So, Jeffrey Herlings' dating history, it's cleared up. There was some lying going on, but it had nothing to do with Herlings. He was doing his thing. MX2 and Trentino, history was made by Triumph. Tim Gajser is an absolute buzzsaw through these GPs. This dude is as good as he's ever looked. The things he does on a bike are amazing. And what's up with Fantic? I have a mountain bike that's a Fantic. I never really knew too much about their dirt bikes, but they are competing on one of the highest levels here in GPs and looking good. If you're struggling with some aches and pains, I'm telling you, try Nano-Extreme. Stop taking Advil and all these different things that the pharmaceutical companies tell you to take. Just put Nano-Extreme on it. By far, the best pain relief I've ever received. Head over to Nano-Extreme, use code COOKSY, and get free shipping. Check out Complete Racing Solutions. Do you have a youngster that's training in all these training programs? They're very risky. They don't understand the physiology of kids and how their bodies are different and developing. Coach Rob does. So head over to Complete Racing Solutions and check out what he offers for kids and getting your youth athlete dialed in. Check out Alias MX gear. I know they were big a while ago. They are coming back. They got their new ombre gear. They got cycling gear. Head over to Alias MX and get on board with this badass company.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Hunter Lawrence. Oh boy, is he a hypocrite. So the Lawrence family's all upset. Everything's in the media and it's being reported on. Yeah, dipsticks, you put it out there. When Hunter Lawrence, when they split with Lucas Myrtle, this all could have happened behind the scenes. And it should have happened behind the scenes. If you really don't want him to be your agent anymore, just let him go. Just let him go. You don't have to publicly smear him and draw everything out in the public eye. And now if this was all behind closed doors and I was reporting the stuff that I'm reporting on and calling it the way it is, I would look like a real jerk. But Hunter Lawrence made this public information. When he had his issues with Lucas Myrtle, he called Michael Antonovich, couldn't get a hold of him. He was dead set on getting this into the media and destroying Lucas Myrtle. After he couldn't get a hold of Antonovich, so this is how long he has to think about it, keep going. Then he calls Vital MX and gives them the so-called press release. So this so-called press release that he dictates to Lewis Phillips and says, put it out just like that, like he controls everything. He got a little bit big for his britches and he thought he was more important than he actually is. So now that this is all public, thank you, Hunter Lawrence. You're the one that put it there. You're the one that put this out there for everybody. And tomorrow, I'm going to break down Darren Lawrence's fluff appearance on Pulp MX with Steve Mattress. They remind me of, you ever see like the liberals at these protests who are screaming and yelling, and then they go up to somebody and they hit them or slap them, and then that person decks them or puts them in a chokehold, and they go, oh my gosh, it's violence. That's how the Lawrences look right now. They went to the media first. They slapped first. And now they're mad because Lucas Myrtle is telling his side of the story and other people are telling narratives that don't line up with what they're saying. The facts line up with Lucas Myrtle. But tomorrow's video, I'm going to break all that down and some of the different narratives and the desperation that they're doing. And it's pretty disgusting. Throughout this, it has been brought to the attention that Cynthia, Hunter's wife, had dated Jeffrey Herlings. I mentioned this just in passing the other day, and I was like, well, what are we, bringing ex-wives and bringing exes into this thing? Well, you guys are pretty smart. I was hit up with some information about Cynthia's age. Looks like she's been, or somebody's been spewing out that she's 25 years old. Same age as Hunter. She's not. She's considerably older. She's definitely robbing the cradle. But hey, I'm not here to judge on who lands who or what ages. Love is love, and as long as they're consenting adults, I have no issues with it. But when you're gonna lie about your age, and you've had a romantic relationship with the bullet, Jeffrey Herlings, and you say you're 25, and you had a relationship with him in 2012, well yeah, that raises red flags. Were you 12 years old? What's going on? Herlings, he's all in the clear. They were like the same age. It's no big deal. They were 17, 18, both of them, same age, no problem. But the way she lied, it really did kind of have some people wondering, wait a second, was she 12? And like I said in the last video, I had a hard time believing that that was actually the case. And I'm so happy that it isn't actually the case. There's a lot of creeps in this sport. You got that guy, Hunter Cali, and there's numerous other stories of these type of creeps. Our sport is very susceptible to these pedos and creeps that try and get young girls and young boys. I'm just really happy that the bullet is not part of that crew. And he was just simply doing his own thing. And had Cynthia not lied, or somebody lied about her age, had her age been disclosed as what it was, no problem. Nobody would have ever said a word. So while people can get pissed off at me, you might want to look at the people that lied about their age. When you start telling lies, there are unintended consequences. That was an unintended consequence. On the website, ageandbiography.com, she said she was 24, or the article said she was 24. I would assume that a website called Age and Biography would probably get that right. They didn't, or they were given the wrong information. That I don't know, but that lie is what caused the issues. But I'm sure glad that Jeffrey Herlings isn't a part of this garbage, because right now he's racing himself back into shape. He had that ACL injury in the offseason, and in Trentino, he was riding pretty good. I mean, you can tell he's out there practicing. The amount of self-control it takes to be able to go out there and just do enough to rebuild yourself, that takes a lot. I am not going to lie. Well, I got a little bit worried in that first moto. I'm like, wait a second. He's back there in 10th or 11th. He's getting beat by Tony Cairoli, his old rival, who he pretty well handled, when they were both at their peak. And now Tony Cairoli's retired. He hasn't really raced seriously in a while now, and he's on a Ducati. And you can say what you want about Ducati. It looks good, but the performance is not there. So he's on an inferior bike beating Jeffrey Herlings, who's still planning on racing full-time. Not a good look. But Herlings did exactly what he needed to, got past him, and ended up with a 9th place overall finish. I think he went 10-11 for 9th place. And I'm not going to judge any of these performances by Herlings until probably, I'm going to give him till about mid-June. Let him really race himself into shape. He is doing it in a way that not a lot of people could. Not a lot of people could go out there, check their ego, and just use these races where, he's going against guys like Tony Cairoli who are off the couch. And it's not a good look if you get beat by them. But he knows he's better than a lot of the guys in front of him. He just knows he's taking his time. And about mid-June, I think you're going to see a switch flip. But I don't know if anyone can deal with Tim Gajser right now. He is so fast. This is by far the best I've ever seen Tim Gajser ride. He is so smooth. I mean, the way he caught up to Romain Febvre and he was cruising. He looked like he was cruising. Febvre was going out of his head trying to keep him behind him, going sideways, blowing berms, just riding so hard. And you look at Gajser, he's just cruising. And then in that second moto, there was a scrub by Tim Gajser, just all casual. But I mean, it was the stuff of poetry. I can watch it over and over, and he made it look so easy. He is in the zone right now. He is a buzzsaw. He is head and shoulders above everybody else racing MXGP right now. And Febvre, he looks pretty damn good. I mean, this is a former world champion. He won the week before, and he looked like he was going to be up on Tim Gajser's pace. Heading into the round, that's what I thought. After what I saw that weekend, wow, he's just not on the same level. Tim Gajser can do whatever he needs to out there on the track. Febvre is just at his mercy. With that said, Febvre is riding good. He's clearly the second best guy out there, and he wants to win. I just don't know if he has it in him. I think it's going to take Gajser, a mistake from Gajser, or something catastrophic, because Gajser he looks almost unbeatable. I mean, this sport's crazy. One little crash, one tip over can change everything. But right now, I've never seen, he is in that zone that people dream of getting into where everything just flows right. Tim Gajser is absolutely perfect right now. And it's not like the old days when he rode all crazy. He rode kind of like Lucas Kunin does, wide open, and then he would crash. They called him No Visor Gajser. He has taken that speed and he just uses it when he needs to. And if you think I'm exaggerating at how good he is, let's not forget, Jet Lawrence is who we consider probably the fastest man on the planet. Last year, he was riding so good, and Tim Gajser beat him at the donations. So don't give me this, it's a watered-down field if Tomac and Jet were there. No, Tim Gajser is that good right now. The battle in that MXGP class is for the podium spot. So you got Gajser, clearly number 1, Febvre, clearly number 2, and you got a pile of guys trying to get on that podium. Lucas Kunin looks like the guy, but he's so young. He's 18, and he already moved up to the MXGP class, but he's got this flow to him. He got into that third spot. He took third in the first moto. Second moto, he finally cleared this pack of wild animals to get into third, and he crashed. That is something him and his brother are starting to be known for. They go down a lot. Lucas, not nearly as much as Sasha, but they have got to clean this up. But what I'm really excited is these guys are planning on coming to the United States in 2026. It's still debated if they'll be here for the entire season or if they'll be here just for the start of Supercross. But I think it's critically important that they get over here soon. If they wait until they're 23, 24 years old, like Jorge Prado, it is different. The mind changes. Once you get to about 23, 24, 25, you start to be, you can make improvements like Tim Gajser, but you're not going to relearn a new discipline. Supercross is essentially a new discipline. To really hardwire that on the level that these guys need to, I truly believe you need to get over here and ride Supercross before the age of 20. If you can't get over here before the age of 20, maybe don't come, because I don't think you're going to be able to learn it. If you look at how many guys have come over a little bit later, it's been rough. The guys that come over early seem to do really well. They're able to adapt. No matter what, that first season is going to be rough. But if you're younger, they seem to just absorb it, translate, and learn it a lot better. And I think the Coonins will absolutely adapt to Supercross. At least Lucas will. I don't know about Sasha, but I'll get to him in a minute. Speaking of age, Glenn Koldenhoff out there at 34 years old. Now, this is a dude he's not a past world champion. He had his moments at the Donations when he went 1-1 here at Redbud, and he's had some amazing performances, but I've never seen him look this good consistently week in and week out. Typically, you don't see guys having their best season at age 34, especially when they're dropped from the main teams. If you're not part of Honda, KTM, or one of these major teams that's been winning championships, it becomes really difficult. You kind of go to those B-level teams, you look like you're on your way out. Fantic is considered one of those teams. They don't look like it though. Glenn Koldenhoff is as good as he's ever been. That's 2 podiums now, 2 or 3 podiums. He's getting to be, he might be the 3rd best guy in this series. He's not the 3rd fastest, but he might be the 3rd best guy. And I am sure liking seeing Fantic out there. By the way, they are coming to America with all the financial troubles of KTM and Husqvarna. It's all gloom and doom. Fantic, the Italian company, is entering the United States market. They are not sponsoring my show, but I like to help out and help grow the industry. So if anyone wants to be a dealership for Fantic, here's the information. The battle in the MXGP class in that second moto between Renault, Koldenhoff, Coonan, and Fernandez. Fernandez is wild. He sends it. That's a big dude out there. It was kind of funny. Lucas went in to kind of move him, and he didn't move. Fernandez he's just a bulldog out there. That was one of the best battles. If you take, Fevra and Gajser out of it and made that for the race win, it'd probably be an all-time race. Unfortunately, they're racing for 3rd place, but man, what a battle. That GP class is stacked. There's about 10 guys that are really high level. There's 10 guys in that class that could come over to the United States and be contenders at any moment. Any of those guys in that top 10 on a good day could battle inside the top 5 in the United States. I do think the GPs in the MXGP class is a little bit more stacked than our 450 class over here in the United States. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact they kick everyone out of the MX2 class when they're 23 years old. But it sure makes for some great racing all the way through that top 10. So Ducati, you would think, the Italian brand, they're associated with high-end Ferrari, like they are upper level Italians. It has got to be killing them that Fantic, another Italian company who's looked at on a much lower status symbol, is faring much better in this GP series. They have looked head and shoulders above what Ducati is. Jeremy Sewer looks absolutely awful on that Ducati. I heard they paid him a lot of money, and that can't be sitting well back at the office at Ducati, coming in every weekend, hearing, the little brother Fantic got on the podium, and our high dollar guy Sewer didn't do anything. I'm curious what Ducati does next year. Back at headquarters, they don't like getting beat, especially by little brother and Italian Fantic. I wonder if they're going to throw some money at Kai de Wolf or one of these other big guys and truly, they need to make a splash. They're not okay just being a B-level team, and they're not paid to be a B-level team. So it's got to be frustrating over at Ducati. Check out Ride Strapped, goggles, glasses, shirts, get your red pill shirt. Just a great company that I am very happy to be associated with. Check out ridestrap.com. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport. That's pretransport.com. They're a family-owned shipping company that believes in customer service, reasonable pricing, and tracking. Yeah, believe it or not, they actually find your stuff when it's out there. So hit up Pre-Transport if you need to ship anything. The MX2 class, wow. I think it might be the youth. All these dudes under 23, they send it. It is wild out there. Andrea Adamo, the 2023 MX2 champion, who had a really bad year in 2024, looks to be rejuvenated. Is he going to make a run at Kay de Wolf? I don't know. He took the win in Italy. He is Italian. He's out there with his Italian flag gear. But he did it in true European fashion. He went 3-2 for first overall. And I know a lot of people are like, but he didn't even win a moto. Does it really matter? Yeah, it matters. My very first win as an 80 expert in 1988 in Utah. Yeah, there's a pretty stacked 80 expert class. I went 3-2 for the overall victory. And I'll tell you what, it didn't matter that I didn't win a moto. I won the overall. So congratulations to Adamo. Way to go. He was the most consistent and best guy on the day, and he is the winner. But he's starting to lose touch with Kay de Wolf. Kay de Wolf is creeping away on this championship. With all these crazy kids out there just sending it and riding like guys who are under 23, you look at Kay de Wolf, he doesn't. He rides like a veteran. He is very calm. He's very controlled. He rides calculated. He's not taking the unnecessary risks that a lot of these guys are taking. And man, does he look big on that bike. He looks like a monster on that 250. I really think when he translates to that 450, he will be an instant threat to win and might even win the title his first year out. That's how good Kay de Wolf is. I really wish he would have went to the 450 this year because he just looks too big. I know he's still probably going to win the 250 championship, but I think he's ready for that 450, and I don't want to see him hang out in that MX2 class too long. At that size, it does get difficult to win week in and week out. Then there's Thibaut Beneston, the Yamaha rider, the Frenchman. Went out, won the qualifier. And the qualifiers, by the way, Kay de Wolf has got to pick it up in these qualifiers. They pay points. You get 10 points for a win, and then it drops a single point all the way down. So anyone in the top 10 gets at least a championship point for the qualifier. Kay de Wolf he plays it really safe in those. I mean, he's going to have to do a little bit better than he is, or he's going to allow Adamo, Langenfelder, or Everts to get back into this thing. But Beneston, wow, I don't know. I mean, he is inconsistent. He wins the qualifier, first moto, back in the pack, riding horribly, crashes again, ends up 12th after all that mayhem. I kind of forgot about him. And then that second moto, gets out front and wins, straight up wins. Talk about inconsistency, 12-1 for third overall. And then Langenfelder is right there. I mean, he's in that mix of those top 5 kids that are just sending it. And any given day, Langenfelder could take a moto win or be 6th place, but he's right in the mix. I believe he's second in points. He's Adamo's teammate. Those KTM guys and the Husqvarna guys are doing some serious battle. But Liam Everts gave away a truckload of points in that second moto. I don't know exactly what happened. It looked like him and Kay de Wolf came together. It was early in the race. I don't think it was like a takeout move or anything dirty. But when he hit the ground, it broke off his lever. He had to DNF. So a DNF hurts him big time. He went from second in the points and leading it not too long ago to now I think he's third or fourth. He's pretty far back. Those are the things that you can't do. I know there's a ton of racing still to go, but you cannot have DNFs. If you're going to beat a guy like Kay de Wolf throughout this whole season, you have to be there every single race. You can't just give him a moto. If you give him a moto, he will take it and he will creep away and he will clinch this thing a race or two early. That's where Kay de Wolf's at right now. And there was history made in that first moto. Camden McClellan took the first moto win of Triumph ever in the MXGP class, or MX2 class. He went out there and he flat hauled ass. I mean, he kept Kay de Wolf at bay and he rode around and he straight up won that moto. And then the second moto, he comes out, gets a rough start. He's riding really good and he's still in a position to get the overall. But he missed a gear and had a big crash. It didn't look as bad, but he looked to be a little bit hurt. He was hobbling and it took him a long time to get going. So he ended up 16th in that second moto. So what started off as a brilliant historic day for Triumph ended not as good. I mean, it's still a good day to get that moto win and to show that Camden McClellan is a contender. But man, what could have been? I'll tell you what, that South African rider has found his confidence. I hope that he didn't lose it in that second moto or he's not hurt too bad because he will be right there in the mix. And if he keeps riding like that, he will get Triumph their first overall win. Then there's Sasha Kunin. Man, this poor guy. He is so much fun to watch because he is wild. But once again, he's leading the second moto and throws it away. He has thrown it away more than some people do in a career. I can't believe how many times he's been leading and had a big crash. I almost wonder if they're compounding. He started off with that really bad one in the qualifier where I have no idea how he wasn't concussed. but he's still racing. Now, a lot of times these concussions, and you guys heard me, I beat it like a dead horse, but the thing about concussions is you will seem fine. You will test cognitively perfect, and you'll be fine for maybe 10 minutes as the heart rate goes up, and then it causes this weird lapse of concentration. Now, you can't blame all his mistakes on that, but that's something I would watch very closely. He's young. You can only take so many of those gigantic, scary crashes before you have a serious injury. He has escaped serious injury to this point. Man, I hope they figure it out. Maybe even sit him down and let him heal everything for one weekend. They race this weekend and then they get a little bit of time off. I just hope he makes it through this weekend healthy, because I can't wait to see what him and his brother can do when they come over here next year for Supercross. Sasha, I'm going to say I'm a little bit scared seeing him on Supercross, but sometimes you take a guy like that who's wild outdoors and they just ride differently. It's a different discipline. I don't really want to come into it with a preconceived notion of what he'll do, but I think he'll be pretty damn good at Supercross. Thank you guys. I appreciate everything, especially you members and all you subscribers. We're getting really close to 40,000 and I appreciate it. I'm going to do a piece tomorrow. I'm going to break down Darren Lawrence's fluff piece on mattresses show, and just, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm going to point out some of the glaring holes in this industry and how corrupt it actually is. But anyway, all you members, remember, you are entered to win the Coach Rob year-long membership. And if you're already a member, Coach will send you a check for $360. So thank you guys. Appreciate everything. Here is your member of the day.
Mom said, sell it to Felt Circus. He's a damn geek. Dad said, nope, this one's a P-Davy freak. If there's one thing lower than a Felt sideshow geek, it's a money-hungry, backstabbing P-Davy freak.